welcome to a weekly vlog. My name's Lottie and I am vlogging about my everyday life, including send parent journey, my care worker journey and just everything that goes on, all the ups and the downs and all the in-betweens, and hopefully finding some moments of peace and calm in between all those by finding different hobbies that I can enjoy in a solo capacity. Thank you for being with me today. What a week it has been. You and 10-5 on Monday and we have had one hell of a week, which I will tell you all about later. This week's vlog is going to be a bit of a reset. I've got Ewan at home with me today, which I will again explain a little bit later. But today we are going to reset this house because it is driving me mad. I have been exhausted to the point of I haven't wanted to do anything for the last couple of days. I kind of started to pick my energy back up a little bit last night, but I have just been exhausted and the house reflects that somewhat. So although I have kept on top of washing and laundry style things, everything else needs a really good reset. So we will be cleaning the kitchen, which currently looks like a tornado has ripped through it. We will be doing a bedroom and clean, tidy combination upstairs and a bathroom reset as well. I keep up with like regular toilet seat and wipe downs on the daily, but it needs a really good clean. Like every corner needs hoovering and every corner needs mopping and all the rest of it. So we're going to do that today. Firstly, Ewan and I are going to go to my grandma's house and get all the care work done for the weekend. We're going to make sure she's got all her shopping. I'm going to do her washing and give her a little bit of a reset before the weekend happens. And then we will be coming back here and hopefully filming a bit of a reset of our own, because we definitely need one. I mean, everybody needs a reset now and then, but we definitely, desperately need one. I need to put plants outside in my little greenhouse thing because we've got far too many tomatoes and chilli plants in here still, and they actually need to start being hardened off as well. And hopefully some of those will go to the allotment very soon. I've got a bunch of stuff to go to the allotment because that should have been happening this week, but Ewan had other ideas. But again, I'll explain in due course. For now, I am going to get going with my jobs because there's a list as tall as I am to be getting on with, and we really need to get a wiggle on today, and I'm hoping filming it is going to make me more productive. So thank you for making me productive today. I will see you very shortly back for a bit of a clean around after we've done the care work. Hi guys, we're back. I'm just about to start my little reset. I've taken the bedding off my bed and I'm about to wash that whilst to get the kitchen cleared and sorted, so then I'm hopefully making good use of my time rather than walking around aimlessly, because I can quite easily forget what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll walk into a room and I just won't even know where to start. So the bedding's about to go in the washing machine. I'm going to record a little bit of what I'm doing, hopefully, but we'll do it like a bit sped up so it's not too much of a clean with me. This is more about the reset than the cleaning, so this is for my mentality. I need this reset, so let's do it. A little bit better. I've only done this side of the kitchen, but I've done the windowsill, done the sink, done the cooker, the toaster, and generally just had a pick up around that area. I've still got that side to do. That side vexes me like you wouldn't believe at the moment. The table, dining table, is a complete and utter dumping ground. everybody uses it to just plonk the stuff on, which is fine, but then nobody moves the stuff afterwards. So that's going to be my job in a little bit. But Ewan is feeling a little bit lonely and a little bit bored. I've spent about 20 minutes doing that. So I'm going to go play with Ewan for a little while and keep him occupied, and then hopefully I'll be back to do that side of the kitchen, which I'm not looking forward to, but it has to be done. And my bedding is finished washing, just doing it an extra spin, and then I can get that dried and back on the bed, and when I put it on the bed I will do a clean before I put it on the bed, if that makes sense. Guys, I absolutely need a better solution for this bedside table. So I've just come upstairs to clean our master bedroom, which is really rather small for a master bedroom. That's not the bother. The bother is a lack of storage. So I need somewhere to store all this stuff. I'm considering getting one of those little metal trolleys that people use for like craft stuff. I've got one in Delilah's room actually. Might get one of those and put my books on, because this bedside table, it's not good for my brain. The amount of chaos that is right there is very much not good for my brain. Anyway, I'm going to dust it all off and hopefully put it back a little bit neater. But I need some solution for storage. If I had space for a bookshelf, I'd love one. But I don't think we've got any space. Maybe I should put some bookshelves on that wall. That wall's very bare. Maybe I could get some like corner ones going up. Who knows? Good morning, my loves. How are we all? The last time we spoke, I was attempting to do a house reset with Ewan in the house on Friday. If you have read the title of this video, you will know that he has a broken foot. Oh man, so Tuesday, straight after his birthday, literally the day after his birthday, I carried on as normal. Dropped the kids off at school, went and done the jobs at my grandma's house, and then headed to my mum's to help her clear out the house, because for those of you who've already watched, you'll have heard me mention already that she's actually moving away to Northumberland. We're currently in West Yorkshire, so she's moving to Northumberland. I offered to help, gone up, we had a sandwich for lunch, and we were just cracking on. We were getting on with it, and we were clearing out the back room, pulling out all the teenage treasures and things from her childhood and things from mine and my brother's teenage years, and going through all that when I got the phone call from school. I got a phone call from school saying, you need to come and collect your son because he will not put weight on his foot. He has tripped over a hula hoop in the playground, and yeah, come and get him, basically. So I went and I got him, and he was in good spirits, but he just wouldn't put his foot on the floor. In all honesty, I thought he had sprained his foot, his ankle, and rolled it, if you like. So we left it overnight, thinking it's a sprain. I got up the next morning and he still would not put weight on his foot, still wouldn't do it. So that was my decision made. I was taking him up to A&E. So we dropped Delilah off at school. I carried my 5-year-old to school and back to drop his sister off, and then we got a taxi up to the Bradford Royal Infirmary, and then we signed in at A&E. We went to paediatrics, then we went to minor injuries, then we went to x-ray, then we went back to paediatrics, and then back to minor injuries. Turns out he's broken the toe, like the bone in his foot that kind of attaches his big toe to the rest of his foot, if that makes sense. So it's like a break on there. they've put him in a very funky boot and told him that he can just get on with it, basically. So he's got 4 weeks of a boot, no cast, which is quite nice to know that he's not got a cast, because it means not faffing around with appointments. Sorry, just alter that a little bit. That's a bit better. So yeah, Ewan has a broken foot the day after his 5th birthday. So the first week of being 5 for Ewan has gone absolutely swimmingly for him. And it's just been a crazy week. So I haven't had him at school all last week because school turned around and said that they couldn't take him because he wasn't walking on his leg. I was literally carrying him everywhere for 3 days, at least 3 days straight. I had to carry him literally everywhere, and I didn't have any. I'd thrown the pram out last year, maybe about halfway through last year, because he'd started walking and we didn't want him to be in a pram. Yeah, he can be a bit lazy, so he just won't walk somewhere. He'll refuse to walk and then sit on the floor. So I'm used to carrying him to a certain amount, but I'll go for so long and then I'm able to put him down, basically. But whilst he's had a bad foot, he just won't walk. He just literally sit down on the floor and not move. So we ended up buying a push-on trike, so one of those toddler trikes, I guess, with a parent handle, but that's been a godsend for the last couple of days. And we've had a weekend at home doing not much and being very relaxed with no pressures to go out anywhere, just so that he's got that little bit of time to recover and get used to wearing the boot. So he has been playing with his sister quite often and he's back on his feet and he's walking. This morning I've taken him into school. We've had to fill in a risk assessment, which I understand completely. And then I sat down to film the rest of this video, and the lady who did the risk assessment called me again and decided they'd changed their mind and they didn't want him playing out on the big playground at lunchtime because he's in reception class, so he plays on reception playground for most of the day until it's lunchtime, and then they're allowed to play on the big playground. So they've decided that it wouldn't be safe for you to play on the big playground, and now they're going to take that playtime from the big playtime away and put him with the younger children again, which I'm hoping he's not going to mind because he's still got friends in nursery class, so they're going to put him in the nursery playground with a buddy from his class, just to make sure that his leg's not being hurt, foot has not been hurt. So yeah, it's been a week, and after trying to reset on Friday, the whole house feels like it needs another reset, which is what we're going to get to. I haven't been to my grandma's yet. We're going to head over there now. I have got a little bit of shopping to do, and I'm hoping to get all this video. Ow, Dinah! She's trying to claw me again. I'm hoping to get all this video finished and edited before too late, because I would just like 5 minutes where I don't have to think about anything else and have one of those glorious everything showers. You know the ones. So I'd love to do that tonight instead of sitting and editing for hours. So if I can get the editing done this afternoon, that will free up that little bit of time for me to do that, because I'd like to wash my hair and all the rest. I mean, I can squeeze it in at some point today, but I don't want to squeeze it in. I want to make time for it and do all the good stuff. Yeah, that is where we are at with that. On the reading front, we are almost finished Jules Verne Around the World in 80 Days, and again with like, maybe it's just him, I like his writing style, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the Jules Verne books. I've got one more to read of his after this, and then I'm going to move on to Catabathus, which is, see if I can move it without knocking the whole shelf down, this one. And I can't wait to read this. I really can't wait. I've actually signed myself up to Audible as well, because some of these books I'm listening to on Audible, well, I was listening to them on Spotify, but that was working out quite expensive, whereas I can pay one price a month on Audible and have a really good catalogue of books to be able to read. and a lot of the ones I'm reading are actually in the catalogue. I am also reading The Spring on the Little Cornish Isles. Sorry, I was looking behind you then because the book's propping my phone up. So I'm reading Spring on the Little Cornish Isles, The Flower Farm I think it's called, by Philippa Ashley. That's good so far. I'm reading that like a couple of chapters a night, and I'm reading the Jules Verne one, well no, I'm listening to the Jules Verne one on Spotify. I'm reading the Philippa Ashley one. They're both good, they're both very different. I'm reading them for very different reasons. The Flower Farm is very much, or seemingly very much, going to be a spring romance, although we've not got to the romance part yet, and I think I'm only about 8 chapters in, so I'm not particularly far with that, but it's a nice easy read, and it's nice to just read a couple of chapters and I'm getting into bed. Like I say, Jules Verne I'm nearly through with Around the World in 80 Days, thoroughly enjoying it. If you haven't read it, I'd recommend it. Like, I don't know, I remember Around the World in 80 Days because I'm pretty sure there was a cartoon of it when I was younger, and there was also a film version. There was also a film version with Steve Coogan and Jackie Chan, I think it was, but the character that Jackie Chan plays is a bit skewed from what it is in the book. So in the book, Jackie Chan's character, Passepartout, is a Frenchman, but they've got Jackie Chan playing him, and I understand why they've put Jackie Chan playing in it, but it might be something I need to revisit. I might need to have a rewatch of that film, and I think it's quite comical, the film, as well, so that won't hurt, and I think the kids possibly might like that story as well, so that will be a good one to revisit. I've been trying to keep up with journaling, especially this week. My head hasn't been full and I haven't been in a bad mental place. I think physically this week has been exhausting, just because I've had to carry a 5-year-old everywhere with me, and he's had to come on excursions that he wouldn't normally come on. So normally if I do the shopping for my grandma, I can call into a shop on the way and I'm in and out within like 5 minutes. Also updated, in a previous vlog we spoke about an autism assessment. Now, I had no idea which way the autism assessment was going to go. I've had an updated meeting with his doctor, and a really lovely chap, easy to talk to. He explains things if it needs explaining, if not he don't treat you like an idiot, which is wonderful. Ewan really adores him. So I had a meeting with him on Wednesday, the same day we ended up at the hospital. So everything were a bit of a rush, so I guess that were a bit of a mentally trying day. We got back in time though, so everything was okay. We survived that trial. But on that phone conversation, it was a video call. On that video conversation, they updated me that they believe and have given Ewan an autism diagnosis, which I was quite shocked at, because I had no clue as to how that meeting was going. Like, for Delilah, to me, and probably anyone who has a knowledge of ADHD or autism can quite easily sit with Delilah for 5 minutes and see that that is very apparent with her. Ewan is completely different, like so different. Some of the things that I would attribute to being an autistic trait is very subtle for him. He has sensory issues, which I've probably gone through before, but I just wasn't expecting, and I was half dreading it, because not that I want him to be labelled as autistic. It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, send parents, you'll hear me when I say this. It's not that you want the diagnosis, and it certainly doesn't make a difference to myself. It's for everybody else who has to be in your child's life. So schools are the main one. There are plenty of idiots working in the school system, whether they are visible or not, there are. So having an autism diagnosis just kind of puts that "be patient with me, I don't learn the same way as you do" sticker on there for him, and that is all I could ask for. But again, I'm really surprised that he got the diagnosis anyway, because his autistic attributes are very subtle in my eyes, and I probably would have, if someone had put a gun to my head and basically said, well, what would you diagnose your child with? I would have said sensory processing disorders. End of discussion. Absolutely end of discussion. But they have deemed it that he scores high enough on the scale that they use to be autistic. And I don't really feel anything about that, because it doesn't change anything for us. We're still going to face the same challenges that we do now, and most of them are sensory processing issues. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Sorry, that was quite a deep moment, wasn't it? So as you can tell, I'm kind of like, it's not a mixed emotion thing, it's pure, it is shock. It is shock that they've kind of found that they think he's autistic. Yeah, and like his doctor was saying, things change and kids develop differently over time as well, so it could be that he doesn't have too many challenges with it, but it also could be that in 6 months' time that he is really struggling with some aspect of his life. Things can change so vastly over time. I mean, we know that, don't we, for ourselves. There's not really much else to say on that. I am yet to have a meeting with Senko at school on it. I'm waiting for the paperwork to be rolled out. I don't know whether to wait for the paperwork to be rolled out before I approach school with it. I've told his teacher directly, because she's the loveliest lady. Honestly, she's like such a nice teacher, and she really listens to you as well. So if there's anything that you're worried about or anything you need to tell them, you can tell that she's actually listening to you. A lot of them don't listen, but his teacher's really good at that. I did tell her when I saw her in passing on the day, because it happened just before I went to pick Delilah up the call. It's been a week or two, and no doubt there will be more issues and more things to go through for the school. There really will be. Right, and on that note, I'm going to stop waffling and like get over my little shockedness of an autism. It's kind of been pushed to the back because of the foot thing. Because he's broken his foot and he's like physically unable to do a lot of stuff. Now that he's more comfortable walking, it's kind of back at the forefront of my mind. So I will be journaling this week for sure. On that note, I am going to get off and I am going to do all my usual jobs, because I'm running really quite late. It's 10:30 already. I need to go and make sure my grandma's okay, because we had a little bit of a wobble over the weekend. She had a phone call from my mum, who checks in on her every day by phone, and she was like, I'm not good, I don't know what's wrong, I just don't feel good. And then she finished that conversation and mum were a bit worried about her. She's a bit shaky and a bit like emotional on the phone. So I called her and I got, I'm not good, I've got to have to go. And then the phone was put down on me, so I called over as quickly as I could. I took her some lunch and everything, because it was about 1 o'clock yesterday when this happened. Took her a couple of sandwiches. I went in and she was fine. She just had an emotional day. So again, something I have got mixed feelings about. No, it is a mixed feeling thing. It's like the boy who cried wolf. The thing is with my grandma is she has, like yesterday for example, she was actually quite well. She was okay. She just hadn't eaten anything, and she's quite capable of going to the fridge and getting something to eat. The fridge was well stocked, so there was options, and she just hadn't done it. So instead of getting up and taking the time and getting a drink and having something to eat, she just sat there and felt wobbly and probably low blood sugars and emotional. She was just emotional. So that to me says that she's had a late night, she's gone to bed really late, she's got up really late, so she's a bit disorientated as far as time is concerned and what day it is, which isn't unusual. But then with her not eating or drinking anything, and I don't know how long it's been since she hadn't eaten or drinking. I don't know how long it had been. And she swore she had some, like, she had her tea the day before and she'd had plenty of drinks and that she'd had a drinking that morning, but there were no evidence of her having a drink that morning, especially. The dishwasher was full of dirty dishes, so I couldn't tell you for sure, like, if she'd eaten, but the amount of stuff that was in the fridge suggested that she had been eating until that particular day. So I think she's just had a really long morning of not eating and drinking after getting up. She didn't break the fast. So she was feeling a little bit wobbly, and then she was feeling a little bit emotional. So I got there yesterday, I took her sandwiches, I gave her a cuddle and made sure she had a coffee, and I'd made her an electrolyte drink as well, and I've actually bought some more electrolytes to take with me today because I don't think that's gonna harm. And I've done a little bit of research, and the things that are in them are like magnesium and sodium and there's something, potassium, there you go, and all those things contribute to energy levels. So I don't know, it could help. I'm hoping it could help because she just ends up in a slump and that's when she doesn't do anything. But if she's got that little bit of energy, then maybe she's kind of picking up. But anyway, we're going over there this morning to find out how she's doing and get all the shopping done and make sure she's at breakfast, even though it's going to be a late breakfast this morning. Sorry, Grandma. We're going to go do that now. So thank you so very much for listening to my random rambles, and thank you so much for everyone who viewed last week, because I did again notice that my views have gone up a little bit and I appreciate it so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, but thank you, I really do. We're gonna get gone, and next week's vlog will be something a little bit more sunnier than cleaning resets and waffling on about everything that has been going on in the world. I am sure we will be doing some gardening and you are coming along with me for that, because I've missed the allotment. I had plans to go last week. I had plans to go at least 2 or 3 times a week last week, and it just didn't work out that way. So this week, next week's vlog, you will definitely be coming to the allotment because we've got so much to catch up on. We've got so much to do. And on that note, I will love you, leave you, and wish you have the best week until I see you again. Thank you for being here. I will see you in the next one.
My name's Una and I tripped over a hula hoop and my legs hurt, and now I had to go to the hospital and fix it. And someone put some kind of funky shoe on, and it was really funny.
Yeah, where are we going now?
We're going to Grandma's, and I still have a hurty foot. I'll show you my hurty foot. That was my hurty foot. That was the hurty foot. And that was actually the funky shoe. It was so funny. I'm done.